A man in a wheelchair saved a stranger's life. No, he didn't race into traffic. He didn't leap into flames. In fact, he never left his living room. But with a calm voice, a sharp mind, and the kind of focus only pain can teach, he stopped a tragedy before it happened. How? He had no badge, no cape, no miracle technology, just a headset, a microphone, and a lifetime of listening to what most people miss. This is the story of Micah Reynolds, once a first responder, now bound to a chair. But don't call him retired, because when panic broke through a 911 line, he became the only thread holding a little girl's world together. And the reason, let's just say sometimes the people society counts out, are the ones who count seconds and lives. Keep watching to find out how a man who couldn't walk raced against time and won. Micah Reynolds never dreamed of becoming a hero. He just wanted to help. In his 20s, he was the guy running into danger while everyone else ran away. An EMT with a flawless record and a gift for staying calm when sirens screamed. He remembered birthdays while stitching wounds. He stayed past shift ends to sit with survivors. For Micah, saving lives wasn't just a job. It was his heartbeat, until the day his own heart nearly stopped. A multi-car collision, rain-slicked roads, a driver texting, and just like that, his spine shattered, his legs silent forever. The uniform was packed away, the station emptied his locker, and the world moved on without him. But Micah didn't disappear. He just changed form. At first, there were dark days, long nights, medications, moments of asking, why me? But then came the decision. If he couldn't save lives out there, he'd find a way to do it from right here. He retrained, retooled, and rebuilt. His apartment became his command center. His wheelchair no longer a symbol of what he'd lost, but a seat of quiet power. He didn't know it yet, but the very things that once broke him would soon make him unstoppable, because the day would come when a child would cry for help, and only Micah would know what to do. It was just after 6 a.m., clouds heavy with rain. Micah had barely sipped his coffee when the red light on line 4 began to flash. He adjusted his headset. 911, what's your emergency? At first, only static. Then, a whisper, a little girl's voice trembling. Mommy's on the floor. She won't wake up. Micah froze for half a second, then flipped into action. Can you tell me where you are, sweetie? No response, only whimpering. The child didn't know her address. No street names, no visible landmarks, just panic. Most dispatchers would escalate and move on, but Micah listened deeper. He caught it, the lilt in the child's accent, the low hum of a passing train, the distant bark of a dog. Tiny things, unless you've trained yourself to hear everything. He began asking questions, softly, methodically. Do you see anything outside the window? Is there a color on the mailbox? Do you hear anything else right now? Bit by bit, he built a map in his mind. Then she said something that cracked it open. We go to Food Town. It's purple with a bear. Micah's eyes widened. He knew that store. Back when he still had his legs, he'd driven past it on late-night EMT runs. There was only one Food Town with a purple bear in the Tri-County area. He started cross-referencing past addresses, piecing together a route like a puzzle with no picture. And here's the part no one knows. Micah had almost quit the week before. Burnout, isolation, the feeling that maybe none of it mattered. But this call, this moment, was about to remind him exactly why he stayed, and what happens next is nothing short of a miracle. Micah's fingers flew across the keyboard. One hand rerouted units. The other logged every sound, every syllable the little girl uttered. Her voice was fading. "I'm scared," she whispered. "Mommy's shaken." Micah's own breath caught in his throat, but his voice remained steady. "You're doing amazing, sweetheart. You're brave. I need you to stay with me, okay? Count your breaths. 1, 2. That's it." The girl began to calm, just enough for Micah to ask the next question, and the next, and the next. Each answer gave him another breadcrumb, a chime from a neighbor's wind ornament, the sound of water running nearby, a train whistle in the far distance. Micah's training had taught him how to follow patterns, but it was his lived experience, his old routes, his memory for local sounds and details that allowed him to do what no GPS could. Finally, it clicked. A match. A narrow, unmarked side street near the old rail yard. He flagged it, marked it, and pushed the call upstream. Unit 12, proceed to 48 Hillside Terrace. Pediatric on site. Possible seizure. Mother unresponsive. Micah stayed on the line with the girl. "I want you to open the door if someone knocks, okay? They're coming for you. Just hang on." Minutes passed. Then radio chatter. "We have contact. Female found. Vitals low. Child safe. Transporting now." Micah sat back, closed his eyes, and smiled. He hadn't moved from his chair, but he'd just crossed a city in his mind and found a life worth saving. But what happened after that call, what the girl's family did next, is something Micah never saw coming, and neither will you. After the call ended, Micah sat in silence. Not relief, not celebration, just quiet. Because in his world, there were no parades for heroes without badges, no news vans pulling up outside his building, no handshake from a grateful mother, just the glow of a monitor and the hum of his breathing machine. Micah had become a master of staying calm, but that night the weight came crashing down. He thought about all the things he used to do, holding pressure on wounds, carrying children out of wreckage, hearing a heartbeat return beneath his hands. Now all he had were voices in his ear and wheels beneath his body. But saving that little girl, that reminded him his voice was still strong, his mind was still sharp, and his presence, though invisible, was still saving lives. Yet no one saw the man behind the call. No one asked about the chair, or the loneliness, or the nights when all he wanted was to stand again, just to feel the world beneath his feet. And still, he showed up. Call after call, panic after panic. Micah wasn't chasing medals anymore. He was chasing meaning, and finding it in every heartbeat that didn't stop. He kept a small notebook beside his computer. No names, no details, just tally marks, one mark for every life he helped save. That night, he drew a line, then stared at it, hand shaking. It was the 100th mark, 100 lives, from a chair, in a room no bigger than a studio apartment. But then, just when he thought the moment had passed, someone knocked at his door, and what happened next would undo him completely. Because this time, he would be the one speechless. When Micah opened the door, he wasn't expecting anything. He rarely had visitors. Even deliveries were dropped off downstairs. But standing there, so small she barely reached his knees, was a little girl from the call. Next to her, her mother, alive and well, eyes brimming with tears. They didn't know who he was. Until now. The department had traced the call. The medics had talked. and the family insisted they needed to meet the voice that had saved them. Micah didn't know what to say. He was used to disappearing after disasters, used to being the ghost on the wire, heard but never seen. But now he was seen, fully. For the first time in years, the girl handed him something, a hand-drawn card, a picture of her, her mom, and a man in a wheelchair with a big smile. Beneath it, written in crayon, "You helped us breathe again." Micah didn't cry easily, but that day, he let the tears come, because in that moment, he realized something. He hadn't just saved a life, he had reclaimed his own. Purpose isn't about motion. It's not about medals or muscles. It's about showing up, fully, completely, even when the world says you've already done enough. Micah once feared he'd never matter again. Now, he mattered in ways most people never get to experience. And here's the part no one tells you. Every time he rolls into work, he's carrying more than just equipment. He's carrying the weight of 100 lives and the belief that you don't have to stand for something. But Micah's story isn't over, because what he's doing now, what he's building in silence, might change how emergency response works forever. So the next time you hear a siren, or see flashing lights rush past you, or dial a number hoping someone, anyone, will answer, remember, the calm voice on the other end of that line might belong to someone society once overlooked, someone like Micah, someone who lost the ability to walk, but never lost the power to lead. Because real strength isn't measured in steps taken, but in lives touched. And there are thousands of Micahs out there, quietly working from back rooms, basements, bedrooms, keeping the world safe, one call at a time. It's time we recognize their power. It's time we stop asking, "What can you do with a disability?" and start asking, "What can't they do?" If this story moved you, share it, talk about it. Support organizations that hire, train, and empower disabled dispatchers, veterans, and first responders. Because Micah didn't need a cape, he needed a chance. And when he got it, he saved a life without ever leaving his house. And if you believe stories like Micah's deserve to be told, stories of quiet strength, unseen courage, and unstoppable spirit, subscribe to this channel. Because here, we don't just tell stories. We remind the world that being able in every way isn't about what you can't do, but about what you never stop doing.